Let's go. We're going to work on Kill Me with Tequila. Super excited about this. Hope you enjoy the video portion of the lesson. You've got a tab PDF of the intro and verse now, and let's get into it. Chords are easy. It's just G5 and C. But what you do with those chords and the syncopation of how our right hand, kind of does all these cool little moves, and our left hand too. Let's just get into it without further ado. One tip to start is playing the G5 kind of like the old school way, where we do our pinky on this note and our ring finger on this note. That frees these fingers. That frees these fingers up for doing those little hammer-ons and embellishments that you hear throughout the song. So yeah, that's to me the best way to do it. And then it makes it easy to get to the C. I've kind of changed. I used to play G this way with the middle finger, and now I really like doing ring finger on the bass note, especially if there's a C chord that comes after. But yeah, the intro starts with a hammer-on, and we're gonna hammer on. I kind of stage my fingers on the chord, the G5, and I go ahead and do that guy, and that's gonna be, and then you just get back to the bass note. So I'm gonna kind of get the guitar. My face is gonna be out of the picture now, but that's gonna be thumb and pointer on that part. And then you just get that going. So that'd be a good thing to work on. We're just gonna take this through the song one step at a time. Okay, that's kind of the beginning of the tune. And I'm just doing this. Now, one thing that I feel like helps with the kind of the funky kind of loping syncopation is I exaggerate my right hand movements. I kind of am almost, it's almost like a strumming motion, even though I'm finger picking. Like I could stay very stationary, but I like kind of doing this, kind of letting my hand kind of go up and down, almost like I'm strumming, even though it's finger style. To me, that kind of helps with just getting a feel for like how loping the rhythm is. Okay, and then this part we're gonna go, that's thumb, pointer on the third string, thumb, middle on that string. He does little moves like that. So there's kind of some back and forth, some bass and chord double stops. That'd be a good thing to work on. Just go. Let's loop that actually. So we're skipping the. So now I'm just going to loop the top line minus the little hammer-on thing. So we're going to go. Play along with me. Okay, and again, feel free to pause the video throughout and work on small sections. But that sets the stage for things that are going to come afterwards. So if you can do that kind of loping rhythm, more or less it'll kind of come together. I'm going to record this video in one take. Hopefully, I pretty much have the song down, but there might be a couple times I have to, like, if I mess up, I'll like replay a section. But I pretty much have it ingrained here. There's one part when it goes to the C chord that sometimes I forget the rhythm, but it always comes back to me if I play it a couple times. So if we put the whole intro together, the whole intro line before the verse, and then we're in the verse. So he does that little hammer-on move again. You notice at the beginning, I put a little note that says, if you look at the tab, it says off. So what I'm getting at there is, after I do that hammer on, by the time I hit this note, my middle finger has come off the second fret. Because we want more of just a G chord sound. Okay, so there's that. Now, you can work on the intro for a minute. So what I'm going to do now is loop the intro. So the little hammer-on thing will only happen at the beginning, and then when it loops back, we're just back to the chords. It'll make sense with your ear when you hear it. So we're going to go like so. Okay, so you're welcome to play along with that section, looping the intro. Okay, so basically the start of the verse is the same stuff, just recycled. I'm going to kind of get us towards the C chord, which is, where things start getting a little more interesting. But I'll play through the verse, the start of the verse up to the C chord, but it's very simple. It's just that same loping rhythm, and there's actually no hammer-ons or anything, so it's pretty straightforward. So this part just sounds like this. This is the verse. And then we go to the C chord right there. So let's start on the C. The way I do it is I actually don't use this finger. I don't press it down onto the normal note you'd play for a C chord. You probably should, but I don't, because I just like having it free for some of the other things that are going to come later, like that part at the end of the C chord passage where it goes, oh crap. So I like having these fingers free for all those little moves. So I just kind of just do like a little pointer finger, ring finger, C. So here's the C part. Okay, so I just played it. Okay, easier said than done. So let's first get, let me think about this. We're gonna do the first half of the part with the C chord. We're not gonna worry about the stuff that comes later. So we're gonna work on this part. Okay, so it's kind of unsymmetrical in the sense that we do 3. Sorry, my bad. And then we add the pointer finger back, almost, it feels like early. Like instead of doing this is called C major 7, which I wrote into the chart. So we have C and C major 7. And actually, it's not written in. Okay. But this chord with the open strings is C major 7. So that, if you use your ear, you can kind of hear that little melody, and kind of when the pointer finger gets taken away or added back on. So let me think about this. Okay, I had to review that really quick. Okay, now I'm going to go to the next part. So we're starting on 3-0-1, 3-0-1, 3-1, and then the little pull-off section and then these little embellishments of adding those little notes to the chord. Now, let's go ahead and skip forward to where that first pull off happens, and we're going to work on this. So we use our thumb and middle finger, and you're going to pull off your pointer finger. And then immediately add the middle finger to the second fret of string 3. Then we come back to the bass note. We're going to work on this part for a minute because this is the hardest part. So what we're going to do first is you might work on that and then come back. We're just going to do this much of it. So work on that for a second, come back to the video, and let's loop it now, okay? So we're going to go, and I use my middle finger for this note. I kind of use my middle finger for a lot of stuff. Or you could do your pointer finger. It doesn't really matter. You can either pivot the middle finger from the second string to the third string, or you can do the middle finger hitting this string, and use the pointer finger for that. So this song is, I think this is called, there may be a style of playing, I don't want to misspeak, I think it might be called Travis picking. I'm going to research that. But this may be using more of a Travis picking, which is like a lot of thumb and middle finger. And then, especially on the single note stuff. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. Okay, so let's get back to that loop. So again, I don't care how you do this part, just as long as you play that bass note with your thumb and you use some combination of these two fingers or just the thumb and the middle finger. Sorry, my bad. 3, 4. So we're going to loop this part. 3, 4. 3, 4. 3, 4. 3, 4. 3, 4. 3, 4. Okay, let's add more to it. So now we're going to go. So we're going to hit that open second string, and the bass note just kind of rings out through that part. But it's always boom, bam, boom, bam, boom, bam. The bass note always returns as kind of the foundation of everything. So, my bad. So we're stopping there on the open second string. We're just gonna loop that part, okay? Here's what it sounds like. Practice it, pause the video, come back to it, or pause the video, practice it, come back to the video. Here we go. Okay, let's add that last note, okay? I'm gonna grab that with my pointer finger when we get to it. So it's gonna be, okay, I'm guessing there might be some struggles working on that. It's requiring a lot of coordination between the left and right hands. Really a cool part when you get it down. Spend a little more time on that part because that's probably the hardest run that you play during the verse. And if we set up that whole thing up, I'm going to get to the C chord. So I'm going to play the entire section of the verse that has the C chord, and here's what it sounds like. I'm gonna go a little slower. 3, 4. goes back to the G. Once again, the C. Okay, and that's good to work on that transition. Whenever you play just the C passage, you might just grab that G, that first G chord of the next line, so you kind of get used to the transition out of the C chord. I kind of butchered that part. So I'm moving forward. So my favorite part of this song is that little walk up. It sounds like a James Taylor tune or something. But we get to the second page of the tabs. Okay, that's how we end it. So let's work on the bottom line of page 1 for a second, because he does another thing here. And again, this is why I'd like to play the G5 with the pinky and the ring finger, because this finger's going to be used for this hammer on here. And you can hear that in the song on this part. Just nice little chord embellishments. So what I'm actually working on is the end of the bottom line of page 1, where we hit the bass note, and I do a double stop, and I hammer on that. So everything's ringing out together. And here I'm actually alternating between those two fingers. If you watch my right hand, I'll get that in the video as best as I can. Oops, I messed up. That's that pointer finger right there. So using either just traditional finger picking rules or this kind of what I'm calling Travis picking. I hope I'm not misspeaking there. So I'm going to do the whole bottom line. I messed up. 3, 4. And I actually went a little bit into the second page there just to kind of put a bow on that passage. Really like that. It sounds really easy when you're listening to the song because he plays so relaxed. But it's kind of challenging, but when you get the hang of it, I think it will be easy in the long run. I think also stay relaxed, internalize the rhythms and kind of that loping syncopation. It's not funky in the sense that it's like funk guitar, but it's kind of funky country, you know. Okay, so I'm just doing that part. Now I'm stopping right before the walk up. That part's pretty easy, so we'll get to that in a second. But let's work on the bottom of page 1, the bottom line, going into a little bit of the second line, of top line of page 2. Okay, G5, 3, 4. 1, 2, ready, go. We're gonna loop this part. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, do it again. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, ready, go. Then we get to the walk up. This is super easy. I use my thumb and my middle finger. 2 opens, open 5th, open 3rd. Then I'm going to put my middle finger on the 2nd fret of string 5. And then I do the same move, thumb and middle finger. Then I'm going to pivot the ring finger up to the C note. It's not really a C note because we have a capo at 4, but it's actually E if we want to be specific, but we'll just call it C for the sake of simplicity. Okay, that's the walk up. Like I said, it sounds like a James Taylor tune or something from like maybe Copper Line. It's a great James Taylor song. And then he does this little move, the same hammer-on from earlier, but he goes back to the open string that he hammered on from, and you get this little, it's so easy, but it makes the song just like pop. And you just get back to the bass note. So that's a good thing to work on. So let's do the walk up and that part. Actually, let's just do that part. Sorry. And I'm using the thumb and middle. I don't know why, it just feels right. 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. We're gonna loop it. Play along with me. 3, 4. And again, this is the second line of the second page. The first part of it anyway. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's do the walk up and that part. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, cool. Then it just goes back to kind of standard stuff. Okay, it's slightly different, but he does this little, he adds the A note. Again, it's not really an A note, but we're going to call it A. He takes it off right before it goes back to verse number 2. So I'm kind of playing the part after. After this part. So let's start right there where it goes back to the bass note. Pretty straightforward. I'm going to loop that part now. This is real funky because there's so much syncopation going on. It's funky in the sense that it's very syncopated. It's kind of weird, this part. I was kind of like taking it for granted, but this actually might be one of the hardest parts rhythmically. It's not super hard for what the left hand is doing, but rhythmically there's just a lot to kind of coordinate it. And just remember that, I mean, we don't want to be too strummy, but there's a little bit of pull up, pull down, pull up. Kind of exaggerating it, so you can kind of get into it. Now, if that doesn't work for you and you feel like you play better just keeping your right hand more still, again, I'm looping that last part. So if I do the bottom line of page 1 to the end, here's what we have. You're welcome, maybe work on that a little bit and then jump in with me. But we're going to loop that for a second. So I kind of messed that up. My fingers got out of position. I'm going to do that again. I'll count you in. So bottom line of page 1 into the finish of the verse. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's do that again. I'm going to count it in. I need to kind of pause myself as I'm playing that on a loop. Bottom line of page 1 to the end. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, a couple little buzzy notes there. That sounds better. Okay, now let's try the whole thing, meaning starting at the verse. Let's play through it. By now, kind of put the video into different segments, worked on individual sections. Hopefully now you've practiced everything together. This video is here, so you can come back to it anytime. If you don't have it down yet, we're kind of now to the point where we're going to try to put all parts we worked on individually together. But here's what it sounds like. I'm going to play it once by myself, and let's just pray that I get it. This is starting at the verse. 3, 4. Oops, I messed that part up. That's I always, this is the part I screw up because the rhythm changes on the C. Thanks for bearing with me. Okay, let's clean that up. Here we go. 3 verse. I did the last part. I kind of went rogue and did it my own way, but you could hear kind of what it's supposed to sound like if we get all the parts put together. I'm gonna play it this time. Okay, that's the end part. Here's the verse again. 1. Play along with me if you'd like. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's my best attempt at putting it all together. I've been teaching the individual parts by themselves, and I'm doing this trying to do this video in one take, so it's pretty good. All right, one more time. Play along with me. Okay, here we go. From the verse. 1, 2, ready, go. How does that part go? That's it. I was rushing one of the rhythms. All right, the last part goes. Like that. Okay. So that gives you a rundown on Kill Me with Tequila. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Good luck. and let me know if you have any questions.